Okay, so what is slope?
It's 2F.
Now I want to know what it is. Excellent. It's the steepness of a line. Okay. Okay, it's how steep a line is. It's a number to measure that. That's all it is. So it is a number, and it measures that. Just like today, if I look at my watch, it's actually turned out to be a pretty nice day. It's 45 degrees outside. What does the 45 tell you?
The slope.
45 degrees outside, not the slope. It's warm out for February. It's the temperature. It tells you how hot or cold it is. Since you have done temperature since you were that big, you know what 45 degrees means. Unless you go to another country that uses Celsius. And 45 degrees in Celsius is probably about 120 degrees, and that's what it is in Upper Egypt in the summertime. It's very hot there. Do you have a question? Let's call it. 120 degrees. Oh, it doesn't get cold at night. In Egypt, no. It stays at 80 or 90 at night. Okay. Okay, you guys, but the point, Kim, is that the temperature that you read, I'm reading off my watch, is 45 degrees, tells me how warm it is outside. I probably go out with just a sweater. Not in the fall at 45, but in the spring at 45. So that's all it does. So what does the slope tell you? We use the letter M. It comes from French, meaning monter, mountains, which means to climb. And it's just a number that tells you how steep a line is. So if I have a line that cuts a quadrant, like in half, so if I take this line, I'm going to do the best I can. That's a 45-degree angle, and that's 45-degree angle. That slope is 1. How can I calculate the slope? It's rise over run. Careful, that's the problem. Some students do get it upside down. We have by convention chosen, please put your phone away, please. We have by convention chosen to get the y, the change in y over the change in x. Not y over x, but it's the change in y over the change in x. Now, I don't know why students struggle with slope so much. Because it's just a number that tells you how steep something is. This is m equal to 1. If m is bigger than 1, then my line is going to be steeper. Oh, where'd you find it? So if this is bigger than 1, that's very steep. It's almost like a cliff. You can't even drive down a road with a slope of 1. It's way too steep. But anyway, that's what it tells you. And it tells you how, also it tells you how, as you change x, how the y changes. There's a word for that. Does anybody know what that's called? How I change x will affect how I change y. It starts with R. Close. What's another word for ratio? Rate. Rate of change. And you do that in your science classes all the time. You can measure the rate of change. From that, you can make predictions, even though you might not know what the function is. Rarely do you know what the function is. We don't measure the function. We measure how the function changes, usually over time. So if you have strep throat, they take a little culture, and they put it in the thing, and they watch the bacteria grow. And they watch how fast it grows, and that's how they determine whether or not you're sick. So we're not looking at the actual bacteria, we're looking at how the bacteria changes. So if you're interested in medicine or biology, you're going to be doing a lot with this. The fancy word for a rate of change is a derivative, not the ones you hear on the radio. It's a math word. And I really don't know where it came from. I didn't Google it, tried to find out. I still have not found out. But it's really just the slope. So when you do slope, you're doing calculus. And I would say 30% of the AP Calculus exam is just doing slope and writing equations of lines. So if you can write the equation of a line, you're halfway there.
Say that it's probably derivative from what is derived from the change of y.
It could be that was their intention. I have never seen, I Googled it, I've never seen anything that really describes it. Now, I haven't done it in a couple of years. Okay. Do we have everything? Rise over run, change in y, change in x. Now, this is arbitrary. I could do y10 minus y2 over x10 minus x2. Order doesn't matter, but you have to be consistent. So, if I had the points -1, 2, and -3, -5, can I find the slope?
Yes.
Let's do it. So the slope is the change in the y's over the change in the x's. If you have a problem, think about a table, a workbench, and the legs are usually fashioned like in an X. So they go on the bottom. That helps. Anything to visualize what is happening here. Okay, so now somebody's going to choose. This is X, this is Y. I write it vertically and then I don't get them mixed up. So Josh, which one do you want to put in right here? No, not general form, we're doing slope. Aiden, can you help him?
Y2.
What do you want to put in for Y2? I got numbers right there.
2.
You want to put 2? Now, once you've chosen one of these, then all the other ones are fixed. They have to be in the right place. So my other Y value is -5. Whoops, I touched the board. And then 2 is partnered with -1. So what's going to go under 2? -1. It has to be that way. You can't switch the x's around. Otherwise you're going to get the wrong sign because this is subtraction, it's not commutative. And then I have only one choice for this. What number have I not used? -3. Is it easy to put them in the wrong places? Yes. I put the parentheses there as placeholders. You don't have to, but it really helps sometimes, especially when you're looking at, and I can't even read that, especially when you're looking at doing the subtraction. Because this is 2 minus a -5, so what's the numerator? This is arithmetic. 7. And this is going to be -1 minus a -3, so I'll make that plus a +3. So this is 2. Okay. So it's 7 over 2. Now I do the x's first, but I'll try to do the y's first. We're going to go up 7, and then we're going to go to the right by 2. Remember how to graph those points? Okay, so that we're going to watch a video today that's going to review that, but also do inequalities. And I have them on Schoology. Unfortunately, Schoology is not working very well right now. It's got some problems. Okay, so do you guys know what general form is? What is it? AX plus BY equals C. Okay? That has its advantages to be in this form. When I'm solving systems of equations, which we will be doing, I want it in this form. So the first half of the unit is going to be graphing with the inequalities, and by the time you leave here, I'll show you about a feasible region, and then we'll just introduce the linear programming. And so we're going to do linear programming for the first half of the unit, and the second half of the unit, we'll be solving systems of equations with matrices and doing matrix operations. I'll show you how to do that on your calculator. It's really nice, and it's really slick. It's the best way to solve systems of equations. For those of you who want a little bit more challenge, I will show you how to use matrices and row reduction. And that gets to be, well, it's just messy work, and it can be very frustrating. And that's what you actually do in Calc 3. So see a little bit of Calc 2 today and Calc 3. This is Calc 1. Slope is calculus. So don't want you to get scared of it. So what if I had an equation that looked like this in general form? Okay, and I want to graph that. Okay, I want to graph that. How many points do you have to graph a line? 2. So you can put any point, any x value or any y value in there that you want, and then find out what the corresponding ordered pair is. So what's the easiest x value I can put in here? Easier than 1. 0. What's this called? If x is 0, this is called the y intercept. So if x is 0, this term's gonna go away. Do I have to write that? I'm left with 3y equals 6. So y equals what? 2. So my ordered pair on my graph, my y-intercept is 0, 2. Now I just need another one. Okay, Kim? I could do x equal to 1. And it'll work. But why don't we do something even easier than that? What'd you say? 2 times 0 is 0.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody said it, what's another easy value? Y equals 0, which is the what intercept? Not right this second.
So you go like on the home take it or something?
Not right now. X-intercept. Okay, so I'm gonna put y equal to 0, so I'm gonna be left with 2x equals 6, so what's x equal to? 3. So I have that ordered pair. That's all I need. Yes?
Could you just subtract 2x from the sides, so you're getting -2x plus 6?
Could I go into y equals mx plus b form? Yeah. This is easier, because look how fast it's gonna be to solve this. 2 on the y's, 3 on the x's, and there's my line. Doesn't give me the slope though. But we could find the slope. Is the slope positive or negative?
Can you go over the way to get into y equals mx plus b?
Yeah, we can do that. So if we want to do y equals mx plus b, we can. And now I have to have a negative slope, and all we're gonna do is subtract the y's. Now I know the answer has to be negative, don't I?
Wait, Miss Walmsley, I know how to get the roots and I know what they are, but what makes them so special?
Because that's usually what solves your equation.
I know, but like,
These are not, this is only, I only have one root. It depends on what's being asked. You get there. By the way, what's the sign of my slope? It's gonna be negative. So can I just, without showing work, subtract 2 and 0? Sure. Can I subtract 3 and 0?
Yeah.
I know the answer has to be negative 2/3 because I looked at the picture. If I didn't look at the picture, then I have to be more careful about putting it in the right place. So slope is negative 2/3. So the question is, if I have 2x plus 3y equals 6, how do I get it into y equals mx plus b form, which is slope intercept? So we want to isolate the y. So what do I want to get rid of first? Sam, what do I want to get rid of first? 2x. Put your phone away, please. Now, remember I said appropriate time? Okay, let's try and undo that. There. 2x minus 2x. Some of you think that you can add the 6 minus 2x. Well, you can, you just can't simplify it. This is 3y equals, I'll put the x's first because that gives me the slope. And then what are we gonna do? Divide by 3. Is that okay? I have to divide both sides by 3. I could put 1/3 out and then distribute. They just do it right away. So y equals negative 2/3, which I already told you that was the slope, x plus 2. And so you would graph the y-intercept. So it's y equals mx plus b. That is the y-intercept, and it's where you begin on the y-axis. B is where you begin. Don't you like that? B began, took me 35 years to figure that one out, on the y-axis. So on the y-axis, I'm going to graph 2, and now I'm going to do what? That's a negative 2/3. So I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. I can go down 2 and to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. You can do it that way. I think my other way was much faster and easier. But it doesn't matter. Here you have to deal with fractions and slope. The other way you just deal with 2 points on the line. Okay, Max? And the line represents all the ordered pairs that make that sentence true. Not every ordered pair in the plane, just the ones that lie on the line. So you kind of pushed me into this next one. What slope intercept form? We already did this. Y equals what? mx plus b. Okay, so for point slope form, actually I'm gonna do it a little differently than I did in my other classes. I am going to derive it instead of giving it to you. So we have a point on our line, let's call it xy. That stands for any point. That can change, those are the variables. And then we have a specific point, x1, y1. Can I find the slope between those two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Osama? So what's m equal to? It's the change in y, so it's y minus y1, I choose to put the y first. Then y is partnered with x, so it's x minus x1. And this bothered you, we should all know what this is. Two fractions that are equal is called a proportion. You're getting close. And you remember what happens with proportions? You can cross multiply, you do it in science class, don't you? Oh, were you will in chemistry? Are you in chemistry yet? You should be. So I'm gonna multiply those, and then I'm gonna multiply those. It's the product of the means equals the product of the extremes. So I have 1 times y minus y1, which is equal to m x minus x1. And that's called point slope form of an equation. So if you know where it comes from, you can figure it out if you forget.
Can I take a picture of that?
Sure. I'm gonna save all this on Schoology. But it's also gonna be on Schoology. And if the video works, it'll be like the video you're gonna see.
Wait, so what would you use this point slope?
Where would I use this? If I knew, I'm gonna cross this out because it's on my next slide anyway. So if I knew I had a point, -2, +3, and the slope is 1/3, and I wanna write the equation of the line. Now, in AP Calculus, and probably also in IB, I don't care how you write the equation of the line. So point slope form is the easiest. This is the point we know, that's the y value, this is the x value, and we know the slope. So I'm just gonna go and plug them in. Follow the formula. It's y minus the y value equals my slope times x minus the x value. I'll put those values in red. So what's the y value here? No, careful. 3. See, it's easy to mix them up. What's gonna go here? That's my slope. 1/3. And what goes over here? -2. I'm done. Done. Sorry. If I did y equals mx plus b, I'm not done. Let's do it that way. And I pick things with fractions on purpose. So if I do y equals mx plus b, I'm gonna put in y, which is 3, equals m, which is 1/3, x is -2, plus b. And I have to solve that, Kim, for b. So 3 equals -2/3. Now we have fractions. What's b equal to? And look at the space I'm taking as well.
3 and 1/2.
No. Add 2/3 to both sides.
Oh, negative, so.
Wait, is this the same line that we crossed out?
I'm doing the same one, but doing it the hard way. I call this the hard way. I'm not done. So b equals 3 and 2/3.
So is that subtracting 2/3 or?
I'm adding 2/3 because that's a -2/3. I have to undo it, right?
Yes.
I'm not done. I'm still not done. I need the equation. Y equals, my slope was 1/3 x, and my y-intercept is 3 and 2/3. You could write as an improper fraction. That's the answer using y equals mx plus b. Compare that to the work of point slope. Which is less work?
Second one.
The point slope is much less work, much easier, and it's accepted everywhere. Now, if I want to get this into that form, because right now I can't put it on my graphing calculator. You know, you can do it on Desmos. Desmos doesn't care if you have both your x and y's on the same side, but your graphing calculator does.
But you can't use Desmos process.
Exactly. Well, I've been using it because some of you don't have calculators. So this is 1/3 times x plus, I don't know how I do it, but anyway. 1/3 x plus 2. So I'm gonna add 3 to both sides. Can I add the 3 and the 2? Can I add 3 and 2? This 3 plus that 2. Not yet, because I have a 1/3 out in front. And I told you we do a little bit of Calc 2. This is the way we write things in Calc 2. It's a linear approximation for a function. And we can add more terms to it, but it's way beyond what we're gonna do. I'm just showing you that this is one thing we're gonna use later on. So we're not gonna use y equals mx plus b, because it doesn't match with what I'm gonna do in Calc 2. So let's go ahead and distribute this, 1/3 x plus 2/3 plus 3. Which fraction work was actually easier to do? This one or the one with y equals mx plus b? Come on, be honest. That one's easier. Because it's 1/3 times 2, you have to distribute. Yeah, we're getting better at distributing, but I want 100% on distributing. Okay, but we can't distribute exponents. Okay. Let me fix my board here. There then. Is that okay? And I think I've talked about the other forms. We don't have to go through all that stuff. Oh, how do you find the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept, by the way?
It's where the line crosses the y.
It's where, not just a line, a curve even. That's the y-intercept. And what's true about the x value for the y-intercept? X equals 0. Because we don't just deal with lines.
How do you know it's gonna be a curve then?
I just made it up. Any graph, any function that crosses the y-axis. Doesn't have to cross the y-axis. Do you remember this one? Well, how are you gonna find the slope of a curve? That's gonna be an issue. That's later on, not this year, not for a couple more years. Does this have a y-intercept? No, do you remember the name of this function?
1 over x.
1 over, excellent, that's good, because that was a while ago. That's 1 over x. Okay, is that okay, Lily?
Yeah, great.
Okay, and I think we did that.
Wait, so we didn't need to draw that little curve graph?
Well, I just did it, it doesn't have to be a line. It's that the x value is 0. If x is 0 here, we have problems, we divide by zeros.
Wait, doesn't y equals 1 over x have an y-axis? Because it does.
It doesn't have any intercepts, does it?
But it goes like whoop, then it goes.
It goes close to the axis, but it'll never cross.
Then why is there 2?
I'm sorry?
There's like 2 of them.
No, there's nothing.
No, it's like 2. 2 is the thing.
It has 2 branches.
Yeah.
It's called a hyperbola. Not a hyperbole from English. Hyperbola. You know what hyperbole is? Have you heard that word?
Yeah.
Exaggeration. Okay, I would think so. Okay, so how do you find the slope in the linear equations if you're given y equals mx plus b? It's the coefficient of what?
Of x.
And b is when x equals 0. It's this, in this term it's the constant. So we use y equals m, we use all 3 forms to tell you the truth. And then what I did, and I'm trying to do it in advance, but I'm not doing a very good job of it. I took this smartboard, I made it a PDF, I put it on Schoology, you can print it out and then you can write on it. Or if you have your own iPad and get Notability, then you can write right on the iPad. Notability is the app I would suggest that you get. I don't believe it's on our iPads. Now we're ready? That's just general form. I'm not gonna do that. I did it first hour. If you wanna see it all written out with the algebra, you can. It's not important. There's point slope form. Okay, so this is my slope. And let me give you an example. Can you tell me a point on the graph? Should we do it easier?
What do you call the y?
On the graph,
On this graph,
Mistakes.
1
What?
What do you
negative
call the
8.
y? Equals mx plus b.
that's point slope. Okay, so here's my point, it's right here,
What do you?
and it's y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So what's y1 equal to? Equal to 8, 'cause that matches. Think about what will make that 0, that's the easy way to remember it. The positive 8, what's this, the positive 1? X is equal to -1, and what's my slope?
-1.
So if I wanted to graph this, I'm gonna be at -1/8 somewhere over here. This is gonna make me go down 1 and over 2. And there's my line. I don't wanna do y equals mx plus b.
Thank you for your line.
I love graphs. I don't wanna do y equals mx plus b, that's too much work, it's way easier. I just have to sell you on this, and you will always go to point slope forever.
When is that time when you could use y equals mx plus b and it would be like
If it's given to you. If they give you the form, if your equation's y equals mx plus b form, then just stay with it.
Are we gonna ever have to be like asked to put into y?
Wait, are we ever gonna be asked what?
To put into y equals
You might. We're just gonna do graphing. Okay, I assigned 1 through 5, the solutions for both of the assignments, for all of chapter 6 and all of chapter 3, are now in the solutions folder. I'll have in Schoology, and I'll put the worksheet that we're gonna do tomorrow. We are gonna do some graphing of inequalities tomorrow. We're gonna not do Indiana Jones, we're gonna do Ohio Jones and the Temple de Luce. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow, but today we'll watch how do you graph inequalities. And this guy uses a smartboard. I've used a lot of different, there's my Schoology, but if I press something, it's not gonna work. Like this is where I put the notes from class, like today's notes, I'll put them in here.
Wait, you're recording?
Yes, I am recording. And there they are, so then you can see today's notes, what I've gotten in there so far, and that's when they say it's unavailable. So anyway, it's a problem, but the video works, and I will stop my recording. I'm gonna